Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I couldn't do this video right after I read the book because I had to think about what I was going to say. I had to really think about it. Now, if I can't think of the term I want to use, but we'll just say this. Please note, this is a dark comedy. Written, we'll say tongue-in-cheek, and with that in mind, I'm going to tell you about the book. Laurel Applebaum has one thing that's standing in the way of her happiness, and that is Doug Applebaum, her husband. Now, when this book starts out, we find out that Laurel's husband had been in an accident, a car accident, in fact. While she rushes to the hospital, she is thinking. And as soon as she starts thinking, she's with Charlie, which is a co-worker of hers. He starts to offer her comfort about Doug's possible condition, since he was in the car accident. But what she can't tell Charlie is, I hope not. She hopes not. She hopes he's not okay. Well, quite naturally, she rushes to the hospital, right? And all the while, she's like, he's gone. He's probably already dead. Again, dark comedy, okay? Now, she starts to think about all the things that are going on in her marriage. Now, just imagine she's driving to the hospital. And while she's driving to the hospital, she starts thinking about things. Almost 30 years of marriage. Their money is super tight. Her husband's not working. Their credit card debt is growing continually. She wants to go visit her son and his wife so she can be there for the birth of their child, but he says they can't afford it. But then Doug has this massive insurance policy. It would solve all of their problems. Not their problems, her problems. She could sell the house. She could not only gather the money from the insurance policy, but she could sell the house and really create a beautiful nest egg. She won't have to cater to his every whim. Like when you read this book, did you get the newspapers? Yeah, she has to go out every day and get the newspapers. Can you pass me the cream? Can you get the milk? Hand and foot service is what she's given Doug. Well, she gets to the hospital and she's trying to look, sad and forlorn. And when she gets to the ED or the emergency department, guess what? He just has a big bruise on his forehead. What? He's still alive? Oh, goodness. So, that is how this book starts off. Now, again, I have to say this again. See, I believe in the sanctity of marriage. And I am a true Christian, and I respect the Bible's view on marriage. And of course, all of that. So, don't think that I am condoning wishing one's spouse to be dead, because of course I'm not. I'm just telling you about this book here. Or should I say this book here, because it's going to be up there. So, what's going on here? Well, I tried to understand Laurel. Because like I said, I've been married for decades. 4 decades, in fact. And on the one hand, you might feel like you're watching one of those shows or episodes where a spouse has died and they're interviewing the closest kin, which in this case would be the other spouse. And then the person that they're interviewing is trying to show remorse at the loss of their spouse. That's kind of, where my head was at when I was listening to this book. And I say listening because it was Kindle text-to-speech while I was over here over there diamond painting. So, how did I get on with this book? Well, since I'm not really into comedy, humor is not my go-to, I had to take it with a grain of salt. In fact, I am going to jump to the back of the book because I want to give the author credit. She says, by the way, did I say her name? If I didn't, let me say her name. This is Take My Husband by Ellen Meister. I apologize. This is Mirror, which is a Harlequin imprint, okay? Ellen Meister says, when I first got the idea for a dark comedy about a woman who pines for her husband's death, I was excited but also scared. Could I pull it off? Would anybody want to read it? And what would my husband think? So, even the author had trepidation about writing this book. Me as a reader, I had trepidation about reading this book. Nonetheless, it was done well. And Laurel is a very interesting character. You know, I can imagine a 50-ish age woman who is the primary breadwinner, but still has to work full-time taking care of her husband. Her son is married. I think he's living in California now with his wife and soon-to-be baby. So there's an empty nest there, but she still has all these duties taking care of Doug. So that's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to spoil anything in the book as far as where things happen, where things go, how things happen, and what the conclusion of the matter is. Of course, I don't want to do that. But I did want to whet your appetite for this unusual book for me. If you like dark comedy and you like something that's well written, then read Take My Husband by Ellen Meister. It's a Mirror publication, which I got from NetGalley, so I want to thank NetGalley and thank Mirror. And if you're interested, I'm sure you can get this at your Kindle store for about $11, but also check out your library or your Audible. So, that's it. Take My Husband. Thank you. Bye-bye.